Warner Robins versus Macon, two middle Georgia cities, 20 miles apart, completely different personalities. On one hand, you've got the historical charm of Macon. On the other hand, you've got the modern feel of Warner Robins. So which place do you want to set your roots down in middle Georgia? If you're moving to the middle Georgia area, this video is going to explain to you the difference between Macon and Warner Robins. We're going to go over the pros and cons of Macon versus Warner Robins. We're going to go over the cost of living of each, some of the neighborhoods, school districts, and the commute times to Robins Air Force Base if you're military, thank you for your service, and how long it takes for you to get to work. So let's get started. So let's start off with a little history first. Of course, Macon is the older town. Founded in 1823, it's got over 200 years of architecture, structures, history, and nostalgia to keep you in awe of all the historical beauty that it has to offer. And for a little more history, Macon was also one of the towns that survived Sherman's march to Savannah. They fought him off twice, so it's one of the only towns that still has the original structure still standing from before the Civil War time. And on the other hand, Warner Robins was established in 1941 when the original town of Wellston turned into Warner Robins when the Army Air Corps established Robins Air Force Base on the tail end of Pearl Harbor. So you've got a more modern area with the military in mind when they built their infrastructure. So most of the roads and property lines are laid out in north and south, east and west grid areas. Now, of course, fast forward to today, and both Warner Robins and Macon have all the new amenities that you would come to expect in a modern town, except Macon has a deeper history and a wider variety of real estate to choose from, while Warner Robins established is more 1950s, 60s, and up. Now, before we go on to the next section, if you are thinking about moving to the middle Georgia area and you need somebody that knows both Warner Robins and Macon so you can have a better decision on whether to move to Macon or Warner Robins, you can click on the link below, or you can call me direct and we'll sit down and come up with a game plan to help you decide whether you like Warner Robins or Macon better. So now that you have a little history of Warner Robins versus Macon, let's talk about the vibe. Now, of course, Warner Robins has been a military town since day one, so it's going to have a little bit more disciplinary, market, family-oriented vibe. While Macon, having the 200-year history that it has more of a creative arts feel and a lot more industrial businesses in town and just outside of town. So if you're a small entrepreneur and wanting to start a business, you might be more interested in Warner Robins. If you're a business person and more of a corporate type, then downtown Macon is definitely going to be the place that you want to go. Now, in the last 10 plus years, Macon has gone through great lengths to revitalize downtown with the 2nd Street Revitalization project. A lot of investors have come in and bought up some of the old warehouses and textiles mills and turned them into loft apartments. So they are revitalizing the old historical buildings and turning them into something that can be used today. And a lot of the first floors of those buildings have been converted into offices and restaurants, stores. So there's a lot of foot traffic building up in downtown Macon. So if you've got a little bit more of a lively feel, you like the walking traffic, you like to do a little bit of bar hopping, then downtown Macon would be a good place to hang out, and having a house near Macon to get home to would kind of fit that bill. As a matter of fact, one of our house owners PCS to Warner Robins and bought a house, but of course Warner Robins was a little too quiet for him, so we're renting his house, and then he moved up to Macon because he likes the nightlife and a little bit more action. And he's still able to get to Robins Air Force Base in about 25-30 minutes. And of course, if you're military, Warner Robins is definitely closer, but neither one of them are very far away from Robins Air Force Base. And since I mentioned that, we'll go ahead and talk about the commute times. So of course, Warner Robins is right next to Robins Air Force Base. So even on the farthest side of town, your commute time is going to be about 20-25 minutes. Now, Macon is anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes. If you decide that you find a house that you really love around Lake Tobosoffke or in the Bolingbrook area, you're going to be going all the way through Macon, so your commute times are more like about 30 minutes, but you'll definitely have a more scenic ride into work. Now, I know one of your questions is going to be, how is the crime rate in Warner Robins versus Macon? Well, there's all public records, so I don't mind telling you there are some bad areas in both Warner Robins and Macon. Unfortunately, Macon is leading the pack with that, but the caveat to that is Macon's crime is pretty much isolated to certain areas. And I don't mind telling you where those are, because I'd rather earn your business with integrity and honesty than blowing smoke up your butt and hoping that you don't find out. So the areas that you want to pay attention to might be someplace like Houston Avenue on the south side of Macon. Another place is going to be somewhere around Bloomfield or Mumford Drive. Now, these areas are predominantly around the immediate southern side of Macon. So if you find a house in those areas, make sure to reach out to me and I'll let you know if it's an area that you might want to carry a weapon or if it's a perfectly safe area. Now, in the last 10 years, Macon has built on a lot of new construction communities on the south side closer to Warner Robins, around Sardis Church, around Hartley Bridge area. So if you have an area that's on the south side, don't immediately go into a panic. Just give me a call and I'll let you know if those areas are safe for you or not. Now, on the Warner Robins side, the crime rate is way less than Macon, but it is climbing a little bit. As a matter of fact, there's been some reports of a little bit of gang activity, but there again, it's also isolated to specific areas of Warner Robins. So the crime rate in Warner Robins is a little bit on the higher side on the north side of Watson from Highway 247 west about the first mile and a half. Of course, again, it's pockets. So make sure to call me and I'll let you know if the area that you're looking at is someplace that you need to be concerned about or if you're safe in that neighborhood. And for a better observation of the areas that you might like or might not like, go to crimerate.org. We've got the description below and it can give you a heat map on where the most recent crimes are, what kinds of crimes they are, mostly petty theft, larceny type stuff, which isn't really a big deal. Just put the bicycle in the garage and you're usually okay. So the next question that you're probably going to ask is, Chris, what about the schools? What's the difference in the schools in Warner Robins versus Macon? Well, since I'm a realtor, I can't talk too much about the goods or bads about the school system, but what I can tell you is that Warner Robins is boasting school systems academics has been in the top 80, 85, 90 percentile, while the Macon schools are ranking a little bit lower than that. So to find out all the information that you need, I've got links in the description below for Bibb County school map and Houston County school map. So you can look on there and tell the house that you're interested in what school districts they lie in, so you can be better prepared as to what schools the kids will be going to. So to help you a little bit further, the school systems that you're going to want to research for public school systems would be the Academy for Classic Education, Central High School, Northeast High School, Howard High School, Rutland High School, Westside High School. Those are the main high schools and school districts for Bibb County around Macon. So you can find those, and those will bring up the academics, the histories, the report cards, and from there you can find the middle schools and elementary schools that also share those same school districts. You can also type these names into niche.com to get a better report card on these areas as well. Now, if you decide that public school is not the way you want to go with your kids, then Macon also has a wide selection of private schools like Stratford Academy, First Presbyterian Day School, Mount DeSales Academy, Tetnall Square Academy. And before you say that I can't afford the tuition for private schools, Georgia has the Georgia Gold Scholarship Program. So you can apply for that to get a scholarship, and almost any private school in this area has the resources to apply for scholarships and grants to make sure the kids' tuitions are covered, which currently right now are anywhere between $8,000 to $12,000 a year, depending on which school you go to. Now, in Warner Robins, the public schools are Veterans High School, Houston County High School, Warner Robins High School, Northside High School, which are in order from the south side up to the north side. So you can look up those school districts and the corresponding middle schools and elementary schools, and give you a better idea of the academics and which areas that you decide that you want to go to. And Warner Robins also has a private school as well, Sacred Heart, off of South Davis Drive, which we have a tour video if you want to look it up. They have a phenomenal program for their kids, and they also have tuition assistance. So what's the housing and neighborhood differences between Macon and Warner Robins? Okay, well, let's start with Macon. Of course, the 200-year history, the historical houses, great and wonderful. But if you're looking for new construction houses or something that is just a little bit newer, Macon has been built up over 200 years. So they've got everything from the 1910s, the 1950s, the 1990s, and new construction now. Now, of course, the path of progress in Macon is more on the southwest and west sides of Macon, closer to around Lake Tobosofke or Lizella, which used to be a pretty sleepy town, but now it's starting to get built up and expanded from the Macon area. And if you're interested in a newer construction home, here's a couple subdivisions that you might want to check out. First one being Doublegate Subdivision. Now this is closer to Lizella. It's on the southwest side. These houses are selling anywhere from about $350,000 to $400,000. These are mostly brick houses, brick fireplace, pine LVP flooring, granite countertops, and of course a separate tub shower combo. And these houses are anywhere from 2,000 to 2,500 square feet, 4 and 5 bedrooms, 2 stories. If you want to be a little bit closer to Robins Air Force Base for the commute times, then Oakview Estates would be a good place for you to look. Now this is in the South Macon area near I-475. These houses are running anywhere from $400,000 to $500,000. These are all brick, 4 and 5 bedroom houses, 2.5 to 3 baths, 2,500 to 4,000 square feet. A lot of these are decorated in the lighter gray decor with the ceramic tile bathrooms and the granite countertops, and sitting on anywhere from 1/4 to 0.4 acres. Goodall Wood Subdivision is another good area to look at. Now this is near Sardis Church Road, and it's about 10 to 15 minutes away from Robins Air Force Base if you're military. These are 2-story houses, 4 and 5 bedrooms, 2.5, 3 bath. They have the hardy board exteriors with the cement blackboard siding, and of course the granite countertops, the ceramic tile bathrooms, separate stand-up shower and tub, 2-car garage, and they average about a 0.3 acre lot. And these are currently running anywhere from $250,000 to $300,000. Back in Lizella, another subdivision you might want to look at is Arrowhead by the Lake. Now, Arrowhead Lake Park in Tobosofke isn't too far away from this. It's off of Columbus Road near Lake Tobosofke, of course. Now, these houses are running about $240,000 and up. These are 3, 4, and 5 bedroom houses, 1 and 2 stories, 2 and 3 bathrooms, and either hardy board cement siding or the hardy board brick skirted combination, which I personally like. And these houses are running anywhere from 17 to 2,200 square feet. And if you're a golf nut, then you definitely want to check out Tivoli Place Subdivision. Now this neighborhood is in West Macon next to Barrington Golf Club. And these also have the hardy board cement and brick combinations exteriors. At the time of this video, they've got 3 and 5 bedroom models, 1 and 2 story, and they come with a light gray LVP flooring, electric fireplaces, and some of them, depending on which lot you get, have their own basement as well. But of course, this place is going to be filling up with the golf enthusiasts because it's right next door to Barrington Golf Club. So if you're interested in these, reach out to me and we'll make sure to get you one. Now, of course, the new construction houses in Macon are on the higher end in the $300,000, $400,000, and $500,000 range, but the median price for houses in Macon are around $185,000, $190,000. So there's a wide variety. That just means the highest concentration of houses being bought in Macon are around that range. So if that's a little bit outside your price budget, you can go for one of the resale houses in the more established neighborhoods with the mature trees and the net landscaping already established. Now the neighborhoods and houses in Warner Robins The median price is more like around $280,000 because of the newer neighborhoods. Warner Robins has been building like gangbusters since about 2000, when they were dubbed Little Atlanta because they were the fastest growing city in Georgia at the time. So you've got a wide variety of newer houses that are less than 20 years old. Of course, by now a few of them have the mature trees and the established landscaping, but they've still got plenty of new construction neighborhoods. Like Lennar Builders is working on Emerald Oaks subdivision off of Dunbar Road on the north side of Warner Robins, with their 1 and 2 story, 3 and 4 bedroom houses with the hardy board clapboard siding, granite countertops, ceramic tile bathrooms, and 2-car garages. A little farther south, close to Bon Air, you've got Blue Ridge subdivision, which when you turn into Adirondack, you're going to see the large 2-story houses from the first phase, but they're still doing new construction houses in the back half on the second phase, which are 3 and 4 bedroom, 1-story houses that are sitting around the $250,000 to $350,000 price range. And then farther out in Bon Air, you've got areas like Magnolia Flats with their huge 4 and 5 bedroom, 2-story houses, hardy board clapboard siding, spray foam insulation, and these houses are gorgeous, but their price range is in the higher 3s and lower 4s. And in that same area on Thompson Mill Road at the very back, Southfield Plantation was established a long time ago, but they've since expanded to a new phase in the very back of Southfield Plantation and on the far south side of Southfield, where they're building hardy board clapboard siding, 2-story houses, 3, 4, and 5 bedroom, and some custom houses on the south end that are all brick, 4 and 5 bedroom, and all these are running around the $300,000 to $500,000 range. Over in Kathleen, Woodlands subdivision is still expanding on even still. Now this is an established area that started in 2005 to 7, and they are still building on now with Driggers Home Builders and Trinity Home Builders in the back area with 4 and 5 bedroom luxury new construction houses. All brick houses, some of them have pond access, and they are 1 and 2-story houses, so you've got a wider selection if you're looking for a brick home. And then around the corner on the south side of Matt Arthur Primary School, Lennar Builders is building on the second half of Planters Ridge subdivision with their clapboard exterior siding, 2-story, 3, 4, and 5 bedroom houses, all the way up to I think about 3,500 square feet, and they come with access to their own playground and pavilion. But if the new construction houses in Warner Robins are a little bit out of your price range or they're not your style, there's a lot of older established neighborhoods like Sonia Heights, Country Club Estates, or Shirley Hills subdivision off of Russell Parkway and Kimberly Road that are more established. These are 70s, 80s, and 90s houses, and a lot of these areas are a little bit hilly, so if you like the split level floor plans, there's a lot of those split level houses in these areas as well, and they make good rentals if you're an investor or if you're PCSing and you want to keep that house later when you PCS out of Robins as a rental property. Now, of course, your next question is going to be, well, what's the cost of living in Macon versus Warner Robins? Well, Middle Georgia is below the national average overall. Now, of course, I can't compare the cost of living in Warner Robins and Macon to where you currently are now because I don't know where you are. But we are below the national average. But to give you a little bit of an idea, I just picked up gas yesterday in Warner Robins for around $3.45 a gallon, and Macon was still running around $3.65 to $3.80 depending on where you go. So hopefully that'll give you a little bit of an idea on the cost of living in the areas. They're still running about the same. Of course, the housing is a little bit cheaper in Macon versus Warner Robins, but grocery, gas, and utilities are running pretty much neck and neck. Now, I've got plenty other videos about Macon, Warner Robins, Bon Air, Perry. So if you have any questions, make sure to go through all the videos and get a more well-rounded idea, including the PCS guides that I have that can help you make sure that your PCS move is as smooth as possible. And I'll talk to you on the next video.